D&D Dungeon Masters of Reddit, what is the most useless magical item you've ever given your party and how did they use it? In the first campaign I played, the party began their journey by finding an orc woman in a tavern whose baby was stolen, and what she found in its place was a knife with a weird symbol on the handle. She sent us with the knife in search of the baby. We spent hours and hours and session after session never using the knife in combat. We then found out that the knife would turn anyone IT cut into a lizard. My character ate peanut butter off that knife more than once before finding this out. Not me as a DM, but early in 3E days my friend's older brother was doing a game for my friends, my sister and me. One of the items we got was rolled on the random table was a gust of wind fan. It was exactly what it sounds like. Wave it. Creates a powerful enough gust of wind to propel a boat and possibly rips itself to tatters. Threw it in the pack and forgot about it. A few sessions later we're defending a town from waves of invaders. The final boss is a cyclops or an Eton or something. Big bruiser. We see it approaching with enough time to prepare for its arrival. My sister asks us to all use our healing potions, then give her the glass vials, which we do. Then she turns to the DM and calmly explains how she takes the vials with her up a guard tower. She smashes and grinds them up, waits for an opportune time, then uses the fan to blow a gust of powdered glass particles into the Etin's eyes. The look on this man's face. A cross between holy shit that's awesome, I'm so happy a story like this is in my campaign world now, and fuck, this boss was supposed to be difficult. My teammate and I got stuck in a rock that was actually a portal to another dimension with a huge monster. The DM's fiancé used his shotgun to shatter the rock, releasing me and my teammate and destroying the portal in the process. Out of spite, the DM never told us what we were actually going to fight. In our Vietnam campaign, a boss fight was a group PTSD attack where we fought a demonic version of our lieutenant, and he was supposed to be a long fight that could end our campaign. Being the medic, I stayed back and helped man the mortar tube. Rolled a crit turn 1, and confirmed. Total D4 damage, exactly the boss health. Sorry Sam, I wanted to fight him, honest. In a game I am in currently, our DM gave us a flask of endless water. It can produce water in a trickle, a flood, or deluge that shoots 30 gallons of water in one turn. Our cleric has just fallen from a bridge over a chasm, and through clever bullshitting our sorcerer has managed to catch the falling cleric with a web spell. As we are all racking our brains to figure out a way to save them, our cleric pulls out the flask and uses the water cannon mode to propel herself back onto the bridge using the web strands as a fulcrum. Goddamn nerds. You think that's bad? I had to literally ban the 3.5 spell Create Water because my entire party rolled classes that could learn it. The default is Cleric or Druid, but there's books that award it to our Arcane casters, too, and solved everything with the stupid cantrip. It would blow your mind how many puzzles, traps, combat encounters, and social situations can be solved by liberal application of magic water. Someone refuses to talk? Waterboard them. Pressure plates might be down this hallway? Set them off from a distance with a flood. There's a locked anything? Break it by dropping water from a height. Ambushed? Turn the road to mud, and run away. Setting an ambush? Turn the road to mud, and wait. Starving? You can survive for 10 days on just water. Need to escape from a conversation? A pipe bursts, and the building floods. The list goes on. Turns out physicists and engineers can turn a cantrip into the power equivalent of a 9th level spell, given enough thought. Once my party got a huge beautiful magic sword which was improperly identified as a sword of ogre slaying. Instead, it was a cursed sword of ogre saying. Whoever wielded it would only be able to yell ogre at things. Several adventures later they were attempting to catch a thief who was evading them. They came up with the brilliant idea of setting the sword as bait. and just going about their business. Sure enough, some time later they heard Oga 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 ring out through the town and they caught him without consequence. Amazing. It's all Oga for that guy. Once have my party a magic spoon. It emitted a terrible aura of dark illusion magic and merely holding it filled layers with a sense of dread from its sheer chaotic energy. Its in-game abilities, it worked like a fork instead of a spoon. Arcane Spork of +5 anxiety. Present the bearer with a bowl of soup and watch the anxiety skyrocket. It's a spoon. Why does it keep draining before it reaches my mouth? Why? Why can't I eat any soup? You can't eat soup because you don't have any. When you went to go buy soup, you went to the clothes store. There's just clothes. What do you mean, there's just clothes? I mean every aisle is filled with clothes. I just want some soup, damn it. There's just clothes. Well, go into the next aisle. Faint shuffling, there's just more clothes. What store are you in? I'm at the clothes store. Why are you buying soup at the clothes store? F you. Not while I was doing, but my favorite useless magic item to this day is the boots of quick step. Once per turn, you may click your heels as an action. To gain an action. It resulted in my character beginning each of his turns clicking his heels. It was marvelous. Something true strike. A modified version of the 5e wind fan that only works once a day, and immediately looks tattered after use. So you can never use it multiple times, but it only works once every 24 hours. Now it sounds like a not bad magical item, but the only times it's ever been used is to show people what it does. NPC, hey, what's this fan do? Player grins. I'll show you. Useless gust of wind noises. It happened 5 times and then it got sold off to the underground scrapper they were working for. A ring of invisibility. Except by reading the fine print you understand that the ring itself turns invisible when you put it on and nothing else. They eventually sold it as a novelty to a traveling merchant. Funnily, I had the same idea. My players kinda use it to spot areas of dispel magic. That's a sick idea. My adventurers never encountered one, but I should have added one just to mess with them. Also, if you can get enough for everyone in the party, use it to identify imposters if you're dealing with illusion magic. Nobody knows you wear the ring except your group. A DM once gave our party a mortar and pestle that let us grind out spices in fairly large quantities. We were supposed to use it as a hook to get involved with an army. It would have let the cooks keep the soldiers happy and put us in the good graces of a local lord. Instead we wound up completely abandoning that quest line, setting up a spice shop and went into business. It was supposed to be a one-off adventure, but we had a great DM and it turned into the best long-term campaign I've ever played. It had court intrigue, assassination attempts, war, curses, everything you could want. It ended when we all went our separate ways at the end of high school, with one of my business partners, human, dying of old age, another, elven, selling his shares of the business to the dead one's heirs to retire, and my gnome faking his own death and leaving town to avoid a jealous husband, literally riding off into the sunset on a flying merchant ship. My party has been carrying around a wand of disguise self they found in a magic store bargain bin for over a year, and hasn't used it yet. Except that's not actually what it is, hence why it was in the bargain bin. It's actually a wand of disguise elf, which once a day can summon an incorporeal elven servant you carry out a simple task for you. I was so happy with myself for coming up with that one, and so sad they've never even tried to use it, so the pun goes unheard forever. Hi, I'm Mr. Meezeeks. Look at me. That is tragically beautiful. Oh, like a Meezeeks box. We were playing through a pre-made campaign. At one point, the players retrieve a magical artifact, which turns out to be an orb of control dragons. It does exactly what you would expect. In theory, it could have been very useful. Except no dragons were showing up in the campaign, so it was basically useless. It did, however, lead to a running gag where our most paranoid player kept attempting to control dragon random NPCs to see if they were secretly dragons in disguise. Running gags are the best though. They are. Early on into one of my group's campaign, we set up camp for the night and were eating. Their warrior had made some cold porridge, yuck, in a pot right as we were getting surprise ambushed. How did he react? He put the pot on his head on which he had no helmet. He wasn't the brightest anyways, and negotiated a +1 armor buff for a trade-off debuff in his hit chance, -2. We won the fight and his character became convinced the helmet had saved him, as it had actually blocked a headshot, and kept putting it on. There were also many jokes had about him having some oats in his hair. Thank you for watching this video. If you want more Reddit content like this, please subscribe and like this video. I guess I will see you in the next one.